Hi, I'm Tracy. I am the PassioKnit Spinner, and today I'm coming to you with my Tour de Fleece recap. So, Tour de Fleece was a very mixed bag for me this year. The first 12 days, I spun up a storm. I was on a roll, I was spinning so much, and then day 13, didn't spin at all. Still not sure why. On day 14, I spun a teeny weeny bit, and then on day 15, I tested positive for COVID. And I was super sick for the rest of the tour. So, didn't really go as planned. It's day 12 now since I tested positive. I have been testing negative for the last 3 days now. But I would not say that I'm back to being in good health. I still kind of feel weird, but not super sick anymore. So I decided to film this video for you today. Let's get into it. So this is my Tour de Fleece basket. I wanted this to be double the size because, you know, I only spun for half of the tour. And I had so many plans of things that I wanted to spin and film tutorials for and get stuff just prepared. And that didn't happen. So, oh well, I mean, I can't change that. So I'm going to start with the first big, or the only big quantity that I made this year. That is 4 skeins of yarn. And they are a combo spin that I started spinning, I think, in 2019. Here it is. It's 4 beautiful skeins. I mean, it's gorgeous yarn. This is a combo spin exclusively made from fiber from Ätherische Öle und Meer. She's a German indie dyer. And I think I used 5 or 6 braids to create this combo spin. It is a fingering weight. It is gorgeous. So gorgeous. And here are all of the details. Let's find out, shall we? So, this combo spin, in total, I had 5 braids. Looking at the numbers now. So this is 525 grams, and I got 1,894 meters, and that is 2,070 yards. And it is just so pretty. So pretty. I'm so super happy with how this turned out. I am going to either sell this and everything else I spun, basically, I want to put up for sale. And if no one wants it, I know exactly what I would do with it. I would hold it with a black mohair and knit myself a dress because I think that's stunning. So here it is. I'm going to show it to you 2 at a time so you can actually really see how beautiful this is. I'm so happy. I'm also really happy that it's done because this was on the wheel forever. So the only large quantity really that I did finish this year. I have all of my notes in this little notebook, and this is how I write down my notes. So I write down how many wraps on the niddy noddy I get, and then I do the math and weigh my skein so I know all the details that I need to know. The next thing that I did was art yarn. I spun quite a bit of art yarn. I'm really happy with it. So here's 2 skeins of art yarn. These are coarse spun, auto wrapped, coiled art yarns. That's a mouthful. This is 126 grams in total. And I got 12 meters, and that is 13 yards. And that's it. I had carded the bats myself. I spun this from bats that I carded a few years ago. And I made this 2 skeins of yarn. And I love the first one, which is the one I'm showing to you now. So this is it. That is the yarn. And I have loved this one more because it was thicker and chunkier and bulkier, which was exactly what I wanted to spin. So I will probably keep this one and I will put the other one up for sale. Because what would I do with these? I mean, I was always in the mindset that I don't want to spin art yarn because I have no use for it. So my husband said to me, but isn't spinning the art yarn the thing that you want to do? I mean, isn't that the use? And he's right. I really enjoy spinning art yarn and I really don't know what to do with them. But I think this would be great for those small wall hanging woven things. I also tried to wind it off in a skein that isn't so super long, but now they just are super chubby small skeins and I'm not happy with that. So here's the second skein. It's still really pretty. I did wash them like I usually wash my yarns, and I'm definitely going to spin more yarn like this because it was so much fun. And I'm going to try steaming those yarns. Because I think that they will look plumper and just poofier if you steam the yarn instead of washing it. So I will give that a try the next time. Then I did more coarse spinning because I really enjoy coarse spinning. And I made these two skeins. They are from the same hand-dyed top. And I just broke it down in the middle, and the first half has a lot more of the lavender in it, and the second half had a lot more of the brown and blue. So they look a bit different. But they are just coarse spun, nothing special. In total, I have 129 meters for 168 grams. That's 140 yards. So another really pretty art yarn that I enjoyed doing. And I decided to leave it just as a coarse spun and not ply it with anything. And I'm quite happy with that. Coarse spun yarns are very airy and soft. So they would make great hats or mittens because they contain lots of air, at least the way I spin them. And so yeah, that's the next two skeins. Then I did the first skein of sock yarn. So for my Patreon in August, or starting August and ending in the middle of September, I am doing a spinning sock yarn video series, or sock yarn spinning video series. And I am spinning 5 different yarns for that, 5 different ways of creating sock yarn. And that's the first one. I wanted to spin all of them during the tour, film all of the tutorials, get everything ready. And I only managed to do one. So the other ones I will just do as we progress in the series. But the first one is a normal 2-ply sock yarn. And it was laying weird, so it has a bit of a dent in it. Doesn't matter. So here it is. This is a 2-ply sock yarn. The fiber was from Felt Studio UK. It is a superwash merino, and it is 97 grams and I have 388 meters. That's 424 yards. So it is perfect fingering weight sock yarn. And it's the first one for that video series. And then after that, spinning that thin stuff, I needed, you know, a palette cleanser. So I did more art yarn. And I did beehives. The yarn looks like this. It turned out really, really pretty. It's another one of those skeins where I have no idea what I would do with it, but it's so much fun to make and it's so pretty to look at and it's really soft. I do not know who the dyer is because it didn't have a tag. But this skein here is 83 grams. That's 130 meters, 142 yards. And it's just very pretty. I would say it's a DK weight in the non-beehive parts. When you look at this is kind of a DK weight. And then those beehives are thrown in. When I spun this, I was trying to find out how to divide my fiber percentage-wise for the single, you know, just one single. And then for the beehives, you do spin a thick and thin that you then turn into those beehives in the plying. and I couldn't find it. So I did like a 1/3, 2/3-ish, and that just didn't really work out. So I had quite a bit of the thick and thin left after I finished spinning this, or after I finished plying. And with that, I decided to just find out what happens when you chain ply a thick and thin. And it's just a pretty flame yarn, basically, that I got. And it's a teeny tiny skein. It's 20 grams and 18 meters, that's 19 yards. Takes forever to wind again into a skein. But yeah, I quite enjoyed creating this. My son just threw something down the stairs. And it was not him. It was something, probably a toy car. So, okay, that's the second skein. Oh, okay. So that is this here, the beehives and the flame yarn. Flame yarn is yarn that goes thinner and thicker and thinner and thicker. So that is what that is. And then I only have one more finished skein of yarn, and that was another palette cleanser yarn, and it is this one here. This fiber is from Blue Dog Fibers. I do not know if they are still in business because I bought my fiber from them a long time ago. It is a BFL, which is my favorite to spin. And this is 109 grams, 186 meters, and 203 yards. So it's a nice DK weight when you look at it. And yeah, I just spun this in between as a palette cleanser again to gear up for the sock yarn spinning. And I love how it turned out. I think it is very pretty. And that's the finished skeins. I have some bobbins to show as well. A while back, I filmed a video called Combo Spin Beyond the Sliver. And I created bats from the combo fiber. And I have been spinning those. So this is the first half. I'm going to have 2 more bobbins to spin. But I think that this is going to be really pretty. I made bats that I then pulled into roving. And these 2 are, yeah, the first of 4 bobbins. So I think it's going to be very pretty. It's going to be a DK to worsted weight yarn in the end, which is nice. And I'm going to finish that sometime. And the next thing I have is the first bobbin for the next sock yarn spin tutorial. It's really nice. It is very thin. And yeah, I have one more thing that's still on the spinning wheel, and I did not bring that because I didn't want to break it, you know. So that's my Tour de Fleece recap. I did manage to spin quite a bit in the half that I was spinning, you know. It's a lot, but it's only half. I would have preferred to have like double this amount, you know, and finish all of my sock yarns and that other thing that I have on the wheel and the combo spin, but it didn't happen because COVID happened, and let's just say it was not a very pleasant experience. So that's it. This is my Tour de Fleece recap. These are all the yarns I spun, and that's also it from me for today. I hope you all had a great tour. I hope you're all in good health, and I will see you hopefully sometime this week with a normal podcast episode, because I also have some knitting to show to you. But I didn't want to do that today because I kind of felt like I wanted to, you know, end Tour de Fleece with a recap video like I usually do. So that's this. And now I'm going to have to somehow manage to press the stop button. Okay. Have a good time. I will see you soon. Bye.